Okay, so from Mr. Behringer funny weirdness, we come into this thing, which the head or the plate on it is a tuner thing, which I guess used to be on there. The problem is, Juan, you were asking me earlier about why I've got them kind of like flopping around like that. Let me pull this off and show you.
Okay.
So, okay, well, a few years ago, I guess when we were doing, I think, our second EP, I had gotten one of these delay pedals. It's a Boss DB something. I don't know which one it is. I just haven't taken the time to actually research it. The reason I don't remember which one is because I haven't had the proper faceplate for it for a long time. It broke off. Because what I started doing, I don't even know if I'll be able to do it right now because this thing's so fucked up. But we had this funny thing going when we were in the studio where I was trying to get these just really, really gnarly drill sounds out of it.
Right.
And so let me see if I could get it. Kind of just has to do with, I use this, it's a loop setting, I guess. Kind of something like that. But it was trying to sample as quickly as I could and letting up off of it. You know, like basically really, really, really quick sample time on it. So it turned into me smashing down on this thing, kind of like, and I rolled like that for a long time.
Awesome.
And so what happens is when you fucking mash on these so hard, I'll pull this off in a second.
No, I know what you mean because it ripped the little screw.
So I actually, from doing that, I tear through the metal. So usually there's a little, thing that goes in there, a little screw and screws it in, and this isn't supposed to be.
No.
It's connected on the top usually. Right. I don't know.
Anybody who has a Boss pedal knows that there's supposed to be a top bridge over that, so it's just actually like a little oval, and it's completely torn the top of it off.
Right, and so in addition to tearing the top of it off and the little bridge that goes there to hold it down, then you just end up with this floppy thing, which aesthetically just works because all my stuff is just kind of funky and broken and like weird colors and stuff, so it's kind of funny that it flops around like that. But also, the faceplates on these, just because of mashing on them for so long, they break. So a lot of times what I'm doing is I'm exchanging the faceplates from past broken pedals.
Right.
So I had like a tuner pedal that was busted, that I just had an extra plate on. So so that comes over here.
Yeah, because I go, well, that's not a tuner, but it says tuner, the TU2.
Right.
So I'm like,
right.
you had to replace probably because it broke.
Right,
yeah.
right. And then I don't know what happens after. Then I need to take out of all my pedals, something else breaks. So it's like, well, what's the one I could sacrifice? Probably something off the tuner. And then I was just rolling by hitting like the little teeny like pole on there for a while with just my foot super gently. But anyway, so that's kind of what happens with all this stuff, where it just goes nuts.
Well, I always try to let people know, because sometimes you get a lot of different people interested in what you're doing. And I've been lucky. I've had a lot of guys who I consider really great fusion players or whatever, and they don't understand a lot of times why certain things are the way they are. And I'm like, well, when you're in a rock band, you're not in this controlled environment that fusion or jazz gig is going to be. So you're trying to accommodate your gear to also make it so you can play with all this element going on. Like, they're not playing with drumsticks breaking and mic stands flying and just things are getting thrown at you. They don't get that. So I do stuff that I just protects either my gear or when I play fretless, all my fretless basses have lines on them because otherwise I can't intonate. I'm not in a controlled environment where I can hear myself always. So it's you need advantages when you play rock music, and that's what it is. Aesthetics or whatever, man. It's got to get you to the show.
A lot of times during all that, there's things that aren't funny, like this, where something is actually broken and you're troubleshooting on the fly or whatever, and that's when you come home and you reassess what's going on and troubleshoot and get everything really solid, whether it's new patch cables or this or that, or tightening all your little nuts and bolts and stuff. But for the most part, I have it set up to where I can live with the teeny little malfunctions, like having broken faceplates or whatever.
Right. And then the last one on here is your pitch shifter?
Yeah, so last thing's a pitch shifter. Again, a
faceplate.
Faceplate. This is for a flanger pedal, I think. But it might be like a PS5, I think. Mostly use this for kind of like a shifting up and down sound, and I always have these two in line. So the pitch shifter always comes after this guy because I kind of do this thing where I like to do a really, really quick kind of stutter delay on the DD question mark. And then go into this and kind of like dive it up or down or whatever the situation is. So if it's like a... Which again is kind of like going back to the cartoon thing. To me it's creative and fun and weird and that's like my vibe, you know what I mean? Just creating this kind of world of just wackiness. And so to me that is like a really, really like standard.
No, you really just want to get those soundtrack gigs for the games, right?
Dude, oh my god, that would be incredible. So then let's see, we'll
make that happen.
Yeah. It's kind of like, Halloween also fits in there too. That sounds kind of like a scary, like... just whatever funkiness. So that completes board 1.
Board 1. Boom.